What's up, everyone? Welcome to the FAA podcast. Hope everyone enjoyed the eclipse today, is enjoying the eclipse. I didn't really notice. I was inside all day.
I had some eclipse glasses. They were pretty sick.
I tried to take a picture. I don't know if it I don't know if it was actually the eclipse or not. It just looks like the sun to me. So I don't know. But yeah. Good weekend of football. UFL week 2. Talk about that. We'll talk about some stuff that's going on. There's really not a lot of news that happened. And then we'll end up with the mock draft series continuing. Titans Falcons today. Didn't have either jersey for a team, so I got a guy that played for the Falcons though, Michael Vick. Got his jersey on. So let's talk about UFL week 2. The Brahmas getting the win, staying undefeated 2-0, 20-19 over the Showboats. Wasn't able to watch this game. I was on the golf course. I heard it was crazy though. Memphis was up 16-0, and then I think 19-8, and then but San Antonio scored 20 in the fourth quarter to win, which is just ridiculous on Memphis's part. But yeah, so it wasn't great to start for my Showboats on Saturday morning, afternoon there. Chase Garbers, though, 29 of 40, 72.5%, 287, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. He also had a fumble on his 3 carries for 20 yards and a 2-point conversion. Case Cookus, not too good. 17 of 31, 54.8%, 194, touchdown, 9 carries, 58 yards, fumble, and a 1-point conversion. Darius Victor led the game in rushing outside of Cookus. 17 carries, 54 yards, caught 2 for 11. Big day, 100-yard game for San Antonio wide receiver Marquez Stevenson. 6 catches, 103 yards, a touchdown on 8 targets for the former 6th-round pick of the Bills in 2021 there. Got touchdowns from Cody Latimer, John Trey Kirkland for San Antonio, touchdown for Dawood Davis for the Showboats. Defensively, I got to go with Memphis linebacker Maximilian Roberts, whichever one you want to do. 2 tackles, both of them solos, 2 sacks, tackle for loss, forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. And then, of course, Matt Coughlin. Big day for him, even in the loss. 4 for 4 on field goals, long of 35. So that was the issue. Like Memphis, was getting down inside the red zone or close to it, and they just couldn't punch it in. Had to settle for field goals most of the day. Showboats did cover though by the hook, plus 1.5, under 40.5, which I did hit on that one. Battlehawks beating the Renegades to get their first win of the season, 27-24. Also was not able to watch this one. Barristers Ball Saturday night. Great time. But, yeah, this was back and forth. I did see the highlights on this one while watching the games yesterday. AJ McCarron, excellent game for him, 19 of 29. 65.5%, 248, 2 touchdowns, and a 2-point conversion. He is now the only quarterback in the UFL to not have a turnover this season, starters-wise anyways, I will say, because I have some other guys that couple other guys that have played sparingly but have not turned the ball over. Actually, no. It's really just one guy, Danny Etling, for the Panthers, who's only thrown one pass this season. Yeah. Every other quarterback has either an interception or a fumble. Luis Perez played pretty well in this one. In the loss, 21 of 29, 72.4%, 233, one touchdown. Lindsey Scott got a little more involved in this one, completed one of his two passes for 4 yards, 4 carries for 13 yards, a touchdown, and a 1-point conversion. 100-yard day on the ground, first rushing 100-yard performance we've seen this season by Battlehawks running back Mateo Durant, inactive in week 1, comes in and just puts on a show. 14 carries, 104 yards, touchdown, 1 5-yard reception, and a 1-point conversion. Davion Smith getting his first touchdown of the season for Arlington. Second 100-yard receiving day of week 2 went to Marcel Aitman for the Battlehawks. 4 catches, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns on 6 targets. Aitman just eating up the league so far, has caught 10 of his 13 targets for 174 yards and 3 touchdowns, leading the league in both yards and touchdown receptions. It helps when your quarterback is leading the league in passing yards as well. He doesn't lead the league in passing touchdowns. That goes to Chase Garbers because he threw 3 against Memphis there. Big target day for his teammate, though, Darius Shepard. 9 catches, 82 yards on 12 targets, and a 2-point conversion touchdown catch also by Arlington's tight end Sal Cannella. And defensively, big day for Battlehawks defensive end Pita Taumapenu. 5 tackles, 4 solos, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss for the former XFL Defensive Player of the Year last year with the Vegas Vipers. Renegades +4 they covered, over 41.5. The first over of the season in the UFL.
Finally, the offense is waking up.
Yeah. Yesterday on Sunday, we had the Stallions continuing their dominance, undefeated 2-0, 20-13 over the Panthers. And it was not great quarterback play at all by this Birmingham 2 QB system, but they got it done. The defense was outstanding for Skip Holtz's squad and turned EJ Perry over, and Danny Etling also fumbled the ball when he got in. But EJ Perry for the Panthers, 20 of 33, 60.6%, 203, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 4 carries, 25 yards, and a 1-point conversion. Mentioned the quarterback play wasn't great for Birmingham. Adrian Martinez led the way, 8 of 15, 53.3%, 88 yards, 8 carries for 65 yards. So the rushing attack, though, the QB run game continues to be pretty potent, though, for Birmingham. Matt Corral, 5 of 12, 41.7%, 53 yards, a pick, 4 carries, 28 yards, and a 2-point conversion. Coach Holt said that he's going to continue to play both until one of them separates, and they really haven't through 2 games so far this season.
Yeah, good luck with that. I mean, I feel like at this point, 2 QB systems just never seem to work out because you just don't give enough time for a guy to stand out. You know, you put these guys in a position where they're terrified of making a mistake, so they play way too conservatively and then don't make the play. Well,
seems like it's working so far for Birmingham. They're 2-0.
That's more defense than anything else.
I will say, though, I think Matt Corral won week 1 by having that comeback that they did. Adrian Martinez, I think, won week 2. He looked pretty good in this game. So we'll see who gets a tiebreaker in week 3. But Corral has started in both games. So if that's any indication. The ground game was decent. CJ Marable led the way outside of Martinez there. 14 carries, 54 yards, 3 catches for 29 yards. His teammate Ricky Person scoring a touchdown for the second week in a row. Michigan had no ground game at all. Wes Hills struggled mightily, just 10 yards on 7 carries. EJ Perry led them in rushing there. Not even close to what they were able to do against Memphis, I think, in week 1. No, that's not who they played. I don't remember. Anyways. Oh, no, they played the Roughnecks, I think.
Oh, right.
No, no, you're right. The Battlehawks, yeah. Yeah. Marcus Sims led the game in receiving for the Panthers. 3 catches, 96 yards, touchdown on 8 targets. Pretty bad target to catch ratio, but also 76 of those 96 came on his touchdown reception. So 2 catches for 20 yards otherwise. And defensively, dude, the Birmingham defense was eating. Like I said in the beginning of this slide, 7 sacks for the Stallions defense. Taco led the way. Taco Charlton, the former Dallas Cowboy, 2 tackles, both of them solos, 3 sacks, and 3 tackles for loss. Carlos Davis also has been outstanding for this Birmingham defense both weeks so far. 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss on 4 tackles, all of them solos for the big man in the middle there. Stallions covered by the hook on minus 6.5, under 41. DC Defenders getting their first win of the season, 23-18 over the Roughnecks, who are 0-2. DC is now continues to be undefeated at Audi Field from when they had originally became a franchise in 2020. The original iteration of the XFL's comeback, and then back last year as well. To this year, they are now 10-0 all time as a franchise at Audi Field. Struggled to get the win in this one. Did not look good at all early on. Jordan Ta'amu's first pass was intercepted and returned 98 yards for a touchdown. But the DC defense came to play, especially in the fourth quarter. That was where Ta'amu really cranked it up as well. He was fantastic, and they got the job done. And some people say they probably shouldn't have, because the last play of the game, Reed Sinnott threw the ball on 4th down, and it was 4th and ball game. And he had Braden Bowman, the tight end, open. Bowman just couldn't track the ball in the air and catch it for a touchdown. But anyways, Jarek Arantano started the game again for Houston this week. Got injured, hurt his back, 3 of 8, 37.5%, 23 yards there. Reed Sinnott came in and was really good. I was surprised. 19 of 30, 63.3%, 221 yards, a touchdown. He played very, very well. He started 7 games, I believe, last year for the Brahmas in the XFL. So has starting experience there, but yeah. Jordan Ta'amu, the percentage isn't great. 50%, 16 of 32, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick, and a 2-point conversion. But like I said, looked very good in the fourth quarter. Brought his team back for the win. TJ Pledger led the game in rushing for Houston, 11 carries, 47 yards, 3 catches for 10 yards. Touchdown for Darius Higgins on the DC side, his first game of the season, inactive week 1. You also had a big fumble for Roughnecks running back Kirk Merritt. He also led the game in receiving, rushing-wise, just 2 carries for 3 yards, and like I said, the fumble. But receiving, big day, 5 catches, 79 yards on 6 targets. Non-running back receiving leader was Houston's wide receiver Kiki Chisholm, 3 catches, 57 yards, touchdown on 7 targets. Touchdowns also coming from Briley Moore-McKinney and Ty Scott for DC. And defensively, gotta go. I'm gonna go one on each side here. On Houston, like I said, the pick 6 corner Corn Elder, former Panthers draft pick, for the Roughnecks, 4 tackles, 3 solos, a pick, 3 pass deflections, 98-yard pick 6. And then the stats aren't great, but DC corner DeAndre Baker, former first-round pick of the Giants, 2 tackles, 1 of them solos, but a forced fumble that is probably the play of the game because Kirk Merritt running free down the field, Baker tracks him down, strips the ball. Farad Gardner recovers it for DC, and they get the ball back, or else Houston is sitting inside the 20-yard line with a chance to score. So that was probably the play of the game, though, definitely. The defenders, -5 pushed, under 41.5 hits. Unfortunately for me, I pushed on the under. I had under 41, so I didn't get the hook on my end, unfortunately. All right, we're gonna skip this because there's not really anything major to talk about unless you think of anything.
No.
All right, transfer portal news in college football. One guy to mention that entered the portal, Ohio State running back Dallin Hayden, big freshman year last year. I think ran for over 500 yards. So he's looking for a new opportunity elsewhere. UFL news. Some of the guys we just talked about, we'll talk about them. But first, the Battlehawks setting a modern spring football record for attendance. 40,317 packed the Dome in St. Louis for their home opener this weekend to watch them get a win over the Renegades. So spring football works, and it shows why St. Louis needs a franchise again in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just more proof that the best thing you can do as the XFL is to continue to go to markets where teams just like cities just want teams to root for. That's why, in my opinion, I know they want to go to like Canton, which I think is fantastic, by the way. Great choice. I think another great choice and another way to just kind of twist the knife against the NFL, go to San Diego. You know, take over where the Chargers used to be, because there's still a very passionate fan base out there in San Diego. And if St. Louis is any indication of how to make it work, San Diego could definitely work.
Yeah, but
Oakland maybe?
Qualcomm Stadium is a shit show.
I thought they updated it. Or
No.
There's a new stadium out in San Diego.
I don't know.
Let me look up Qualcomm Stadium real quick, because I think they updated it. I'm almost certain they did.
I mean, I don't know where the San Diego Wave play. That's the NWSL team out there, but we've seen football teams play at soccer stadium. I mean, look at DC. DC plays at Audi Field, where I'm blanking on what the DC MLS team's name is, but
Qualcomm, I think, has been destroyed.
Probably. Wouldn't be surprised.
I think if I remember correctly. I don't know what it does now. Yeah, but it's no longer in use.
Yeah.
But they could play at San Diego State. Like San Diego State's stadium was what I was thinking of. They have a brand new 35,000 seat stadium. That'd be a great stadium too.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's another good possible market? Anyway, it's no surprise to me that St. Louis is destroying home field attendance. Because
city like Portland
could work. Oakland, I could think works. I mean, they just lost the Raiders. Although I don't think they'd want to play in not Qualcomm. Raider Coliseum. They'd probably want to play somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, congrats to the Battlehawks there. 2 injuries, like I kind of foreshadowed there with the Roughnecks. Quarterback Jarek Garantano, he is out at least 1 month with a back injury. Reed Sinnett going to be your starter moving forward there. And in terms of other quarterback, they also have Nolan Henderson on the roster as well, so he'll move into the backup role. Former Delaware Blue Hen there. But yeah, it was funny. It was kind of funny. It was not really funny because he was injured. But when they were talking about Garantano's injury during the game, the sideline reporter, I think it was Devin Gardner, he was like, "Yeah, Coach Johnson, the head coach for Houston, he's like, he told me that they're evaluating Garantano and that looks like he's going to be able to come back into the game." As they were showing Garantano barely being able to walk, wincing in pain on the bench, and then eventually, like, they try to take him back to the locker room, but in Audi Field, the locker room, you have to go downstairs to get to it. And yeah, like, he couldn't even make it down the entire flight of stairs. He had to sit down on the stairs because his back was hurting so much. So, yeah, unfortunate for Garantano. But like I said, I think Houston's actually in a better position because Reed Sinnett looked really good, and he has starting experience in spring football. So I think Reed Sinnett might change my outlook of how Houston is gonna play going forward, despite being 0-2. Their other major injury, running back Kirk Merritt, likely out for the season, dislocated right wrist, happened on that strip by DeAndre Baker. It was like a fluke thing. He, never saw Baker coming. And then once Baker stripped the ball, like, he kind of fell down and landed on his wrist, and like his body also kind of like landed on his wrist and hand and stuff. So yeah, so Houston out a couple players there. NFL draft news. I'm not sure how much. I'm sure all the teams are looking into it, but it's kind of pretty new so far. But Texas defensive tackle Tavondre Sweat arrested Sunday morning in Austin, Texas, and charged with a DWI. Could really impact his, where he's drafted, how high he's drafted, because, it's like they tell us in the character and fitness thing, if you got an old incident, cool, it's fine. The older, the better for the incidents. New incidents, the closer you get to, actually graduating and getting sworn in, really bad. So, and this is, not as close as you can get, but, we're less than 20 days from the draft, and like, it's not great to have that show up on your record before you get drafted. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see if and how far he drops down.
Yeah, I don't know how far he'll drop. I could say maybe he'll probably drop a round or two. But again, a lot of NFL is PR. A lot of it is just how you can, tell teams about how problems aren't actually problems or how problems may be overblown. And as more information comes out, maybe we'll see how this plays out for Sweat. But for now, I'm just taking it as is.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an isolated incident or not. I don't know his whole history, but it's one thing. Teams ask about it. We'll see. Other NFL draft news. Big day in Iowa today. Cooper DeJean working out for NFL teams. Also, blanking on the UNI's guy. Christian something. D lineman. Can't think of it right now. Anyways, excellent numbers coming out of Iowa City for DeJean today. 4.43 40, 38.5-inch vert, 10.4 broad jump, and 16 on the bench. Those are outstanding and solidifying him as a first-round pick. And like I said before, when we were kind of previewing his workout coming up, with these numbers, I think he moves up. Top 15 now is a possibility for DeJean, possibly.
Yeah.
Especially if teams liked how he moved coming off his broken leg in the individual workout drills and stuff like that. All right. A couple, one extension, one re-signing. So the Patriots making a move. They signed transition tagged player safety Kyle Duggar to a 4-year, $58 million extension, $66 million max value, $32.5 million guaranteed. Guy that has 9 career interceptions, great tackler, and New England keeps a big piece of their defense there for Gerard Mayo's first season. And the Chiefs kind of mentioned this late in the show on Friday, but they signed defensive lineman Mike Dana, re-signed him to a 3-year, $24 million deal, $13 million guaranteed, and Chiefs continuing to keep their D-line crew together with him and Chris Jones now back in the fold. And that is all the news. Yeah, don't see anything else.
I got nothing else. I've been scrolling Twitter trying to see any news, but no news is good news, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of this is kind of the dead season, right? It's the 2 weeks.
It's when combines are over, pro days are over, nothing's really moving around.
Yeah, it's combine rechecks, bunch of guys going back to Indy, I believe this week. And it's just a bunch of visits, top 30 visits getting done, local visits for those guys that are within, I think it's 30 miles, I want to say, of a team's facility. If you are from that area or if you went to college in that area, you can get a visit to that team without spending one of their top 30 visits. So yeah, that's what's happening. I mean, I get updates on those visits all the time. Just like, all right, this guy visited this team. But yeah, I don't
visits are visits.
It's interesting who some of the top prospects are visiting though. Just to kind of see, who's going where potentially. Caleb Williams, I can tell you, had only one visit.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to waste his time.
So we are going to go to our mock draft here. The Titans, Falcons, next two teams up on the board. Titans have the 7th overall pick, the 38th overall pick as well. Lost their 3rd rounder in the trade up for Will Levis last year. The Falcons, they have number 8, 43, and 74, and 79 they got from the Jags in the Calvin Ridley trade. So
it's going to work.
Let's get it up here. Falcons.
We're not doing PFF this time?
Yeah, I guess we could.
Oh, I don't know. It's up to you.
You want to trade?
I can't think of any trades off the top of my head. These teams definitely seem like sticking picks.
Yeah. All right. So, oh, look, the Titans are 50% chance they want to trade.
I guess they're giving up on Will Levis.
Kel Williams goes to the Bears at 1. Commanders go Drake May. Patriots, they are going Marvin Harrison Jr. Cardinals, Roma Dunze. Chargers, Malik Neighbors. Receiver run at the beginning. And Quinyon Mitchell to the Giants. So it doesn't really matter. At this point, this is what we were going to be doing anyways if he was available. The Chargers are really the only team that could take him, at least that I see anyways. Joe Alt to the Titans makes so much sense.
I've had so many mock drafts where they take Fashanu, I think his name is, from Penn State, because Joe Alt's taken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. People are like kind of cooling off on Fashanu, and I see a lot of people taking Fuaga, and JC Latham is a guy that has really shot up within the last week and a half. So, but yeah, no, Alt I think is clearly the best tackle in the draft, and that's really the biggest area of need left. I think Rand Carthon did a good job in the offseason here in free agency and whatnot to get this team to a place where, they could potentially be fighting for a playoff spot in this season.
Yeah. So, I do Joe Alt 100%. Tennessee.
All right. So, we're on with the Falcons here. And what I have as the Falcons' biggest need is edge. I have edge, corner ×2, wide receiver, tight end 2, and QB 3 as their needs, which sets up nicely. I mean, we have all the edge rushers available.
Yeah, I would definitely do Dallas Turner here. That would be my guy. It would either be Alabama defensive players. It'd be either Terrion Arnold or Dallas Turner, but I would do Dallas.
Yeah. I mean, edge is more of a need, and if you can't get pressure, it doesn't matter if you have great corners because they can't cover for freaking 20 seconds. So, yeah, Dallas Turner, we go here.
Roma Dunze here.
Brock Bowers for the Bears. Jerzon Newton for the Jets. Vikings go Jaden Daniels. There you go. Stick and pick. Laiatu Latu for the Broncos. Raiders going Troy Faltanu.
No one went J.J. McCarthy. Interesting.
Byron Murphy for the Saints. Colts go Tyrion Arnold. Seahawks, Olufashanu. Cooper DeJean for the Jags. I was close. He got to 17. Jared Verse, the Bengals. J.J. McCarthy for the Rams. Thank God. J.C. Latham to the Steelers. Talise Fuaga for the Dolphins. Eagles going Brian Thomas Jr. Your Vikings, Tyler Nubin. Marius Mims for the Cowboys. Packers going Nate Wiggins. Bucks, Adonai Mitchell. Kool-Aid McKinstry for the Cards. Bills go Graham Barton. Tyler Guyton for the Lions. Jackson Powers Johnson to the Ravens. Niners going Mike Sanderstill. TJ Tampa for the Chiefs. Panthers go Ladd McConkey. Michael Penix to the Patriots. Peyton Wilson for the Cards. Washington goes Darius Robinson. And the Chargers hitting Troy Frank.
That's a guy I was going to vouch for the Titans.
So we are back on the clock with Tennessee here. Gacho Alt in tow. And I forgot to mention what I see as the needs for Tennessee. I have offensive tackle, tight end, interior D-line, safety, and wide receiver as the top 5 needs for me. So we got tackle. Could go another tackle.
Could go nuts with it.
I had tight end as the second need. I loved Chigo Okonkwo coming out of Maryland. He's decent, but they could really get Will Levis. If they really want to help Will Levis, they could get another tight end. I don't know if it's really value here to take Jatavian Sanders. Maybe he can trade back. But anyways.
Who's offering for trades? Let's just look through them. Maybe we can drop a couple spots and get something.
We got the Raiders at 44, Saints at 45, Giants at 47, Steelers at 51, Browns at 54, and Patriots at 68. So, I mean, I would be okay with going to 47.
Yeah, that's what I don't think you want to drop out of the top 50 with this pick.
Yeah, so the Giants, we're going to do this here. All right, well, let's give them back.
Let's do 146 and see if we can do that.
It's only 28% chance.
We could try that.
But, yeah, I mean, to move up 36 spots from the 4th round to the 3rd round.
I think it's a lot of value.
Sure.
All right, I'll take that.
So who are the Giants going with? Bo Nix!
Hey!
Braden Fisk for the Panthers. Commanders go Jordan Morgan. Packers going Kamari Lassiter. The Texans go Chris Braswell, and we're on the clock with the Falcons. So Dallas Turner in tow. So that takes care of my first need for them. Now it's on to corner.
And Rakestraw's right there.
Which we're set up for well, yeah. I think Enos Rakestraw is the guy here. Definitely the top of the board. I don't really see any other corners anywhere close. Kyrie Jackson's the next one. So, yeah, I like going Rakestraw here.
Yeah, me too.
Pair him with AJ Terrell. Chop Robinson for the Raiders. Kingsley Suamataia for the Saints. The Colts go Jermaine Burton. So now we can go to Jatavian Sanders. I think it's within range.
Yeah, I think that's still value there. Still get your guy.
It's technically under what his ADP is right now and where they rank him. But the only other The next one I have is interior D line, but even then you're going further down the board with Ruka Rohiro. So
Yeah, and we traded back into the third, so you could always do that in the third round.
yeah, that's true. We didn't have a third round pick originally with our 3-round mocks that we do. So
yeah, I would do Sanders here and then see who falls to us in the third.
yeah, so now you'd get an offense that looks like DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, Traylon Burks are your top 3 wide receivers, Jatavian Sanders at tight end with Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears at running back.
Mm-hmm. And now you got Joel Alt as a corner stone at the line.
Mm-hmm. Zach Frazier, the Jags, Adisa Isaac for the Bengals, Eagles going Roman Wilson. That doesn't make sense. Ellis for the Steelers, Ricky Pearsall for the Rams, Eagles going Javon Bullard.
Your Georgia guy.
Georgia Bulldogs, Georgia Eagles.
The Browns.
Keon Coleman for the Browns, Xavier Leggett for the Dolphins, Ruka Rohiro to the Cowboys, Kira Namagaji for the Bucks, Packers go Chris Jenkins, Texans going Marshawn Nealand, Bills, Jalen McMillan, Lions, Xavier Worthy. No way he'll be there.
No.
Waylon Trice for the Ravens, Kyrie Jackson for the Niners, Chiefs going Jonathan Brooks.
Ooh.
That doesn't make sense either. Jalen Polk for the Panthers, Junior Colson for the Cards, Christian Haynes, Commanders, Patriots going Johnny Wilson, Edgerrin Cooper for the Chargers. So now that we traded back in with the Titans, my last 3 needs for them are interior D-line, safety, and wide receiver. So what do we have? We have some interior D linemen. And maybe, just maybe, we could be the beneficiaries of one Mr. Tavondre Sweat's DWI.
Listen, until it's a bigger issue, I don't see it as much of an issue. I would still take Sweat here.
Yeah, and that's the bigger need for interior D line. So running the base 3-4, they have pretty solid options at D end with Jeffrey Simmons and Sebastian Joseph Day. I really see the nose as the bigger need. Keandre Coburn is their starter right now with Quentin Bohanna as the backup. So I think the nose tackle is their bigger need inside. And Brandon Dorless, they list him as an interior D lineman, but he's more of a 4-3 tech that can move outside as well. So I like Tavondre Sweat. I think he's one of the few true nose tackles in the draft because he's freaking 340 pounds.
He's a big boy.
Brandon Dorless goes right to the Cards right after us.
All right.
Max Melton for the Jets. Lions going Gabe Murphy. So back on with the Falcons here. And so we got corner. We got edge. Now I have corner ×2 as the second need because it's not great behind AJ Terrell. They have Clark Phillips, who they drafted in the 4th round last year. They signed Mike Hughes from Detroit.
Ugh.
They have Antonio Hamilton, D. Alford, and they just signed Kevin King, who hasn't played in the NFL since 2021 when he was a former second-round pick of the Packers.
Yeah. I don't think they would double up on corner in back-to-back rounds. I think they are kind of banking on more development from their 4th round pick last year and Kevin King coming back. I could see them maybe going corner in like the 6th, 7th round, but I don't see them going back-to-back.
Well, I think we can get Andrew Phillips at our next pick anyways. So let's focus on – so the next one I had was wide receiver.
Devontae Walker.
Wide receiver, tight end 2, and QB 3 were my next 3. Because I would say interior D line, but I like some of the guys that they have. Like they have David Onyemata, who they signed from New Orleans.
Mhm.
Brady Jarrett has been a beast his whole career. They just got back Eddie Goldman. Like I said, they have LaCale London, Tommy Togiai, Damone Harris, Kentavious Street, Zach Harrison, who they drafted in the 3rd round last year. So, yeah, I mean, I think wide receiver, just because, yes, Drake London is pretty solid. But just because you trade for Rondale Moore and you signed Darnell Mooney, this is not great, though. Like, those guys
I'm not sold on Mooney.
Those guys aren't amazing players. And even so, even if they do solidify that as the top 3, like behind them sucks. Josh Ali, Kadero Hodge, Ray McLeod, Austin Mack, and Chris Blair.
Yeah, you need someone behind them in case an injury goes down.
Yeah. So I like Devontae Walker. He's going to give Kirk Cousins a speed option.
I like it.
Kind of what Darnell Mooney does, actually. Rondale Moore can also do that, but Moore probably has like a career air yards per catch of like 1. Something like that.
Rondale Moore's your check down option, your screen option, and he'll create on his own.
Yeah, that's literally all they did in Arizona was throw him screens. I think there was a stat at one point that I saw in Rondale Moore that like more than 50% of his targets came behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, I like Walker definitely over Baker anyways, for sure here.
Yeah, I like Walker too.
All right, Bears are going to go with the quarterback, Malachi Corley.
Hey, we probably took a wide receiver they wanted. Spencer Rattler to Denver.
Rattler to the Broncos. Michael Pratt for the Raiders. Quarterback run. Patrick Paul to the Commanders. So
still can get your cornerback here.
Yeah, and I like it. Andrew Phillips is a sleeper kind of dude.
I like it too.
That can play. I think he can play inside, outside. Because the thing about Clark Phillips, I don't know. Our lads has him as a outside corner with Mike Hughes in the slot, but I think Clark Phillips is more of a slot and Mike Hughes is outside. So I like Andrew Phillips though.
I like that pick as well.
All right, rounding out the 3rd round here, a lot of picks to go. Blake Fisher to the Bengals. Jamari Thrash for the Seahawks. Austin Booker for the Colts. Rams going Javon Baker.
Is that 2 wide receivers in this draft for the Rams?
Yep.
That is absurd.
Jaden Hicks for the Steelers. Blake Corum for the Browns. Jalen Wright for the Texans. Cowboys go Cameron Kitchens. He's not going to be there either. Mason McCormick for the Packers. Bucky Irving to the Bucks. Makes sense. Buck to the Bucks. Brendan Rice for the Cards. Christian Mahogany for the Packers. Bernardo Green for the Bucks. Ravens going Trey Benson. Back-to-back Seminoles there. Dominic Puny for the Niners. Chiefs going Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Jags go Sione Vaki. Bengals. Kalen Bullock. Steelers going DJ James. Rams get Dadrian Taylor Demerson. And the Commanders.
Hold on, our grade's going through the Scantron.
The Commanders got Eric All.
I like Eric All.
So here's how we turned out. Gave us an A- on the Falcons. We were in the top 57% of the Falcons drafts, apparently. Cool.
Like that grade, it matters. Reality will base this off our draft after like 3 years.
Yeah, so I mean, the Falcons, I like it. The Falcons, when I was doing their team needs, I was like, damn, like this roster's pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, they were a good team. They just had one of the worst QBs in the league, and they fixed that right away.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not really sold on the wide receiver room, but if Kirk can make it work, then
Yeah. And that's why you get Walker, just as a safety valve.
Right. Yeah. But I really like bolstering the corner room with 2 players here in the top 80 picks. And yeah, of course, getting your number 1 edge rusher there in Dallas Turner. They said we should have drafted Jaden Hicks instead of Devontae Walker.
But at that point, we already had our eyes on Phillips, so no. We didn't more.
Well, the thing is like, I didn't see a need at safety. They have Jesse Bates, who was fantastic in his first year in Atlanta last year. DeMarco Helms, who's a 7th rounder from last year's draft. Richie Grant, who they drafted in the 2nd round in 2021. Micah Abernathy, who they got from the practice squad of the Packers, has played pretty well. Lucas Dennis was a guy they signed from the USFL, and Trey Tarpley they signed from the USFL as well. Both guys last year that played very well. So,
yeah.
But yeah, that I didn't have safety on the board as a need.
This is definitely more just like, oh, it would have been a value pick based on how we graded him. They did the same thing for the Tennessee one. That's really funny.
Yeah, so the trade here got a B+. I thought they usually graded the trade, but I guess
thought they did too.
Not. But anyways, yeah, they said we should have drafted Jaden Hicks over T'Vondre Sweat. Sure. I did have safety on the list of needs, but it's 4th on my list.
Yeah. Then you could still get safeties in the later rounds.
Well, there's a million veteran free agent safeties that are available you can spend money on.
Yeah, they're still available.
And the safety position for Tennessee is decent. Amani Hooker and Elijah Molden are their starters. It just wasn't as much of a need because they have those 2 starters as the other positions. Because it's not great behind them. Mike Brown, Matthew Jackson, and Shaheem Carter. Those are the only 3 guys behind them. But the thing is, they do have other guys that can play safety, or at least one other guy. Tay Gowan can play safety if they need him to. So can Caleb Farley. So, anyways, but yeah, they really liked the Joe Alt pick. They did not like the Jatavian Sanders and T'Vondre Sweat picks, apparently.
PFF is very much a horns down kind of organization.
But we were in the top 83% of Titans drafts. So.
Oh, well.
Sure. I don't know if top 83 is good or bad.
No, it's bad.
Okay.
I mean, it's like, you're only better than 17% of drafts according to our grading.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter.
But yeah, Tennessee was a tough one. I do still think, though, if Will Levis can work out, the Titans could be in position to fight for a wild card. But yeah, there's the first round that we did, or that the computer did, and we picked twice. But anyways, there's your Falcons picks. There's your Titans picks for those 2 fan bases. And that's the show for today. We kind of stretched it out. We started the mock draft at like 20 minutes, but stretched it out almost an hour. We'll be back next Monday talking UFL Week 3 recaps, as well as all your NFL and college football news. And we'll continue our mock draft series with the Broncos and Raiders mock draft. See if we draft quarterbacks for those 2 franchises. Friday, we are doing 10 and 11. So the Jets and your Vikings will be on Friday's show.
Let's
So
go.
I'll have to decide. Whether I want to break out my Jets Tim Tebow jersey or my Favre Vikings jersey. I don't know.
I got my Favre Viking jersey over here.
All right. Enjoy the national championship tonight, everyone. Go UConn. I guess. I don't know. I don't really care.
I'm not watching.
My brackets are done, so it's cool.
Yeah.
Go Penguins tonight, though. That's playoff push, baby. Playoff push. Don't forget to follow us on all the social media at FAA Podcast on Instagram and X, FAA_bets as well. FAApodcast.com is our website. You can check us out here on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, and X, as well as Instagram and TikTok, if it's still a thing anymore. We will see y'all back for Football Friday.